G'day, guys. Back again. I went and fed some kangaroos, some koalas, did some Steve Irwin impersonations. You know, Steve Irwin, got the crocodiles and all that. We love him down here, but I've got a wonderful individual, DK from Dallas, Texas, the home of the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm a Cowboy. I went there.
Huh?
Hey, I've been to Texas, man. If I was going to live in America, I'd be living in Dallas, Texas. I'll tell you that right now. Beautiful spot. Then I had a hurricane in Houston. We'll talk about that later. But it's all. But wonderful chat. Wonderful chat. We had part one. Part two is all about you now, DK. Where you are right now. We're talking about you being an author, mindset metamorphosis, the inspiration for the book. We already talked about the inspiration and where you've come from. Now let's talk about where you are and where you're going in the future and how many people you're going to help with a parent YouTube channel. Apparently, rumors having it, you might have a YouTube channel soon with this interview. So I've put the pressure on now, my friend. But yeah, and again, your humble, honest opinion, my friend. Thank you so much for being open and as he coming on to a chat with Jay. Get that book up, mate. Let's have a look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's my book right here. Mindset Metamorphosis. You can get it at Amazon for free, or I mean, not for free, but you can get it on Amazon. But if you go to my website at dkkang.com, and if you sign up for my weekly newsletter, you can get the first chapter for free as a free download. Uh, Start your journey reading that first chapter, and if you love that first chapter, go and pick up the book. Um, just a lot of insights and a lot of practicals that I talk about with time management, how to deal with stress, how to get unstuck if you're, in a career path or personal struggles. I talk about just daily habits. There's a lot to unpack in that book, but my goal is for people to really just read it, start small, and take some sort of action for their life.
Okay, fantastic. So tell us a bit about the book with regards to some of the big chapters that you find that people, I know, you know what people like, they're skimmers, they grab the book. I mean, I'm going to plug mine, Jennifer Whitefeather, but also available on Amazon and all good bookstores. I know a lot of people who have bought my book, they just flick, they go, rightio, no, it's just flick here, okay. Because it's all about timing and destiny. We can talk about that and divine timing and all those kind of things. If I flick my book and go, oh, chapter 22, can they do that with your book or when they go, or is it one of those things where you have to read it from start to finish?
Yeah, so my book is it's more of like a progressive. But I
Yep.
mean you can pick it up anywhere, but it kind of builds upon the last chapter. And like if you don't know like the foundations of like first like mindset, like the first chapter is about mindset, and
Yep.
it's talking about a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And
Would you
how
say, would you say, sorry to cut you off, would you say that's the most important chapter in your book? Would you, if someone were to pick it up and go, okay, I want to read some, I would go, yeah, that chapter one, that's the go. Get into that. Would you say that with about your book?
Yeah, I would say that for sure. Because if you can't distinguish yourself, if you have a fixed mindset or growth mindset, then you can't. I mean, well, you probably can, but you won't be able to take that action later on because it might be very difficult where it's talking about, time management or something like that. But you just have this mindset of like, oh, my time management is the way it is, and nothing's ever going to change about it. And so,
Okay.
yeah, I would say start with chapter one, and because it builds upon it itself in the book progressively as you read through it. So,
Okay, fantastic. And when they go through the book, would you say that have you got any indications with regards to where they can go? What some of your influences for the book as well? Have you got any influences that you'd like to say that you could work together with? For example, for me, we spoke about it off air, would be the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. I read that regularly. I mean, I got that from Wayne Dyer. That was where before I had I guess I call the awakening process. That I actually gone, oh, this is great, but now it's okay. This is how you implement it. What would you say? Is there anything else is there any other people that you've been inspired by?
oh man, there's so many people. But I think for starters, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. I've read that book
I've
so
got
many
that
times.
book. I've got that one.
It's such a great book. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy is really good. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Tony Robbins, a lot of his books. Waking the Giant Within is a big one. The the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster is a good one. Atomic Habits. I love James Clear.
Yeah, so many, man, isn't there? Like
Um,
my ones would be Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm Carl Jung. I read and follow my coach JT Fox. He's a wonderful individual talking about both business and wealth, but also a personal mindset of how to, that positive mindset. About a lot of his coaching. He's unreal. Um, you know, even just listening. I think the big thing. DKs, you get a lot of people from individuals. I mean, yourself. I mean, I'll be getting your book and
oh,
having a bit of a read. Oh, yeah, absolutely, mate. I mean, you have to have a read because I mean, we have to not only support each other, but I think the journey we're already on now,
yeah.
we're on a very similar journey, and I think we can learn from each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Um,
what about yourself with regards to the I wouldn't say well I say promotion. Okay, I'm using sort of like these catch crap terms. I'll be honest with you. There's a bit of Aussie slang for you. But your goal is to help others with this book. So if someone were to ring you up or see you or make a comment on your new YouTube channel, trust me, I'm a hype man. I was an ex-pro wrestler, so I'm a hype man. Um, what would be some advice you would give them? What would be the way to go? Say, read the book, or where would you go? Someone's come to you and gone, look, I'm out of this fog. I need to become better, and I've listened to your inspirational story. What are you going to tell them?
Honestly, so here's a lesson that I learned when I was really young. So I started martial arts when I was 5. I got my black belt at 7, but my instructor, he once told me when I was, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, he said, every time you walk in that door, you are a white belt. And I looked at him, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, can't you see how like I'm a black belt? But he meant that mental work where he meant being a white belt, meaning always be willing to learn and that you don't always have all the answers. And you got to be humble about that. And so for me, for any advice for anybody, continue to learn. If you look at Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they read like 4 or 5 hours a day, and they're the wealthiest people in the world. Why is that? Because they keep learning and learning and learning. And so my advice is never stop learning and start small. If you can't finish a book, read 1 page a day.
Mm,
You know,
exactly. It's a big thing. I mean, and there's these small things. I think people we want instant gratification. What's your opinion on that one with consumerism? And they go, oh, that's wrong with it. I have the opinion, and a lot of people said that you can be obsessive of what's happening in the world. We know, look, we don't have to go into it. We know what's going on.
yeah.
But we use that as inspiration, I think, and then you see what you put out as a solution, and I think that's what you and me are doing. Even though you go, oh, you focus on this, but then the solution comes out. So that's what JT Fox said to me, you know, in one of the sessions that he is. It's about the implementation of your ideas, but also the mindset that you're in and the people that you keep. I mean, you're coming from a successful person, but everyone looks at success of, I don't know how you think about it, but I see a lot of people, I've got 10 cars and all this kind of stuff, which is fine. But I learned one thing about humility and humbleness, and I can see that you're exactly the same. And controlling that ego. What do you say to people who are in that situation?
Um, People that are in that situation that have like a big ego, or people that
Yeah,
just
big egos. Yeah, that's the one. Sorry, I should have rephrased. I went
oh,
off on a bit of
sorry.
a tangent. Sorry,
That's all
I
right.
get like that. I get deep in the thought. Sorry about that.
Honestly, there's I say this a lot. Pride comes before the downfall. And
Wow.
there's always someone out there that is better than you, more successful than you, has 10 extra cars than you. There's always someone out there that is better. And
Yes,
so instead of
that's a
like
great quote.
instead of actually saying, oh, trying to have this big ego, well, go learn from that person that has 10 more cars than you do. Instead of saying, oh, I'm better than so and so that only has one car. Well, what good are you doing by degrading someone when this other person that has 10 cars is lifting up that person that you just downgraded? That they're training. And so go learn from that person. And
Do you think that we're in a mindset, and if you found, especially going into the mindset that you're in and all the journey that you've gone through, people are always sympathetic to it, which is absolutely fine. That's human nature. But do you think that people are, oh, I guess, not really taking upon the choice to change their mindset in a way where they can be like you, or not like, take the lessons from it? Do you find that in life these days? And that's probably where your book, put your book up again, okay, just to show off. It's a great book, Mindset Metamorphosis. Do you think that your book could help people make that conscious choice to help themselves, and just instead of having that aha moment or that oh my god moment, do you think they could make a conscious choice in some ways?
yeah, I mean, I think they can absolutely they can make a conscious choice, but I mean,
And through your book there, I mean, sorry, I went off on a tangent again, so
no, no,
I
no.
go with that.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
with your
Yeah,
book,
no, my
yeah.
book. Yeah, I mean, but I think the first step is you gotta pick it up and you gotta actually read it. There's so
Yep.
many people that pick up a book but just never actually read it. Go actually read it and actually do the implementation on it. Take action. It's not a book just like, oh, that's a great idea. No, go actually try it out and see if it changes your life, changes your mind about your situation or whatever you're going through. And so, but the first step you got to do is you got to take action. You got to start reading it.
Because I play a big part in. Michael McNair said to me, one of my coaches, he said to me, I think you'll appreciate this is feeding your mind. And I had another lady, which you can go and have a look on my YouTube channel and Buzzsprout and Spotify, Jackie Elliott, talk about abusive mind chatter. Sorry, chatter. So
Mm.
there's a lot of people who are out there saying, what do you feed your mind at the time that where your mind is at the time, if you get where I'm going. So if your mind's in a crap spot and you feed it mindless stuff, you'll look at it the other way. So you're in sort of like, you've got a balance, you're sort of in the balance of the negative. But if you're in the balance of one way, and if you're in the middle and then you go and look at stuff like Dr. Jay Stefanson, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, JT Fox, whatever it may be, you can have a different outlook because you're actually trying to fill your mind with positive stuff. Do you find that you could help with your book could help with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think my book is kind of a starting point. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of mindset and motivational coaches out there that is probably, 100 steps ahead of me that they've been doing it
I'm
for.
worried about you, mate. We're talking about you. What can you do on that book? Because I reckon, because I'm listening to you and I'm already sort of looking at where I'm at. So obviously that mindset, my choice is to
Yeah,
listen to someone who's, listen to you, to
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
doing.
So my book is it's small steps.
Yep.
Celebrating small
Great.
wins.
Great.
It's taking that small action of, let's just say, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, well, first thing, get your shoes on. I talk about it's called habit stacking. And I think I
Talk a bit
mentioned,
about that, mate. Let's talk about habit stacking. Let's go.
yeah, so habit stacking is, I'll give an example. Somebody, I think I use this in my book. Somebody wants to drink more water throughout the day,
Yep.
hydration. And so this is what I think I use, like Lisa or some random person's name, not the actual person. So every morning they wake up and they go to the office. First thing they do is check emails, right? For like 10 minutes to kind of catch up for the day. But instead of checking emails, first thing that they do is they sit down at their desk and drink 8 ounces of water every single day. And then they check emails. So that's like habit stacking. Same thing with, I gave this example earlier about when your coffee is brewing, 2 minutes. And let's say you want to, get stronger with push-ups. Well, during that 2 minutes, instead of scrolling on your phone, knock out some push-ups because those push-ups will compound and add up to How many are you going to do in a year? If you do one push-up every single day when you brew your coffee, that's 365 push-ups you've done in an entire year. You can be other examples where you want to add more steps into your day. Well, just first put your shoes on. That's it for the first day. Celebrate that win. Hey, I got my shoes on, And then the second day, put your shoes on, walk to the garage. Celebrate that win.
Amazing. It's a simple thing. I mean, a friend of mine, one of my other mentors said, how's this one for you? I want you to comment on this. The most important thing in life, I ask people, go, what's the most important thing in life, ladies and gentlemen? They go, family, health, all that. I go, breathing. I want to do a big shout out to our friends and supporters at Liberty Bullion. Sammy and the team are the best gold, silver, and platinum traders in Australia. Make good choices, give them a call. Back to the show.
Yes, breathing is huge.
I think it is it. I think it is it. If you can gratitude for breathing, then you can gratitude for life, and then you can move on from there. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, I talk about breathing in my book.
Talk about it. Let's say what do you say? I'd
Yeah.
love to hear your theory.
So, breathing is one of those things that you have absolutely no control of, but you also have absolute control of. And so when you breathe properly, so many of us are breathing very shallow. We're not actually breathing from the diaphragm. And so I talk about box breathing.
Tell us what box breathing is, my friend.
Yeah, so there's many ways in what box breathing is. You can count to you can take one deep breath in, count to four, then so you're making a box with your breathing. So when you breathe in, count for four,
Yep.
and then you make a line. So you're counting, and then so like one, two, three, four, and then exhale one, two, three, four. And so that will
Okay. Yep.
yeah. So that will help you. And there's different ways you can do it too. You can do like 1 second up for every single line, or you can do like a four count all the way up to have more deeper breathing. There's
Let's do an
different.
example. Hey, why not? Let's do it. Let take us through box breathing with DK. Let's go. I'm going to do it with you. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. So let's just close our eyes, and then we're gonna breathe through our nose. So breathe in through your nose. One, hold it. Two, still holding it. Three, breathe out. Exhale from your mouth. Four, okay, breathe in. Hold it. That's one. Two, exhale. Three, four. So that, and you can do that at any given moment. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can hold your breath at the inhale. You can hold your breath at the exhale. Just some form where you're concentrating on your breath. So for me, I've done martial arts. Breath work is huge. When you're like huffing and puffing, your opponent knows you're getting tired, and that's when they strike. But if we can control our breath, even like during stressful times, when your boss says, "Hey, I need this project done in like 2 days ago, why haven't you done it?" Just take a moment and just take some deep breaths in through your nose, and then exhale out your mouth, and that'll calm your nervous system down and kind of get you back into that rest and digestion and that calmness. So, and there's many ways you can do box breathing. That was just kind of one example.
That was fantastic, mate. It's always good to have. We had a breath work master practitioner from Australia. Her name's Berenice, and she's on I think episode 36 or something like that of the podcast, and she actually specializes in that. So it might be something for you to have a look at, see what might give you some information and work from there. But from there, DK, what is your future? What do you feel? I mean, we don't look into the future too much as such, but have you got any actual plans or anything with regards to what you want to do and to spread those lessons and those teachings that you've had for the last couple of years?
Yeah, so I'm working on another book. It's a gratitude book, because
Yep.
gratitude is a universal language that all humans, no matter what culture, we have gratitude. there's always gratitude in some form or fashion in any type of culture, man, woman, doesn't matter. And so I'm working on a book about gratitude. I actually do have another book out. It's called the Kimchi Connection Cookbook.
I saw
And
that. I was looking for it on Amazon actually. So, but
yeah,
I
and
couldn't.
so
There's a few kimchi ones here. So
yeah, so that book is basically about the connection between your brain and your gut, and also connecting kimchi with different cultures and different dishes to incorporate. Because if you look at fermented foods, it's like a superfood, and so about 70% of your immune system sits in your gut. And I live here in the United States. They call it the standard American diet, which spells sad, right?
yep,
So the standard American diet is a lot of processed foods, fast foods, sugary drinks, and when we put those foods into our system, our bodies doesn't know how to process it. And the United States is one of the most obese countries in the world, and it's because of all the fast food and the processed foods. And so going back to what is beneficial for our gut, and that's fermented foods. Earlier, I was on a podcast with this woman that she has a lot of autoimmune diseases. And she said she's following this woman where she added fermented foods into her breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and her autoimmune diseases completely basically went away. She saw like multiple doctors, and they said, like, there's nothing we can do to help you with your autoimmune disease. And then so she started looking into fermented foods, and she actually reversed a lot of her autoimmune diseases that she had. And so because again, your immune system is your gut. And so when your immune system is terrible, you have brain fog, you can't think straight. And so that's why it's called the Kimchi Connection Cookbook. Connecting the gut and brain, but also connecting it with different cultures and different dishes. And so
fantastic. I think a lot of that. So I love the soups and stuff, and yeah, I think the big thing I found with food is, yeah, I had a depressive eating problem due to anxiety and all this other crap, right? And you sort of fight that throughout. You fight that all the time, because I mean, you can't get rid of it in your mind, but you can use it as power. But what I do is have an awareness. Number one, if I do decide to go that way, I'm going, hang on a minute. But the other thing is, I'm very aware of how the effect of the food within my gut. That's one thing I've learned, the effects. Even like I know, maybe too much protein, but what's the protein happening? What I sort of analyze what's going on, and it sort of helped me out a real lot to actually analyze what you put in your gut and understand. Go right, I put this in. It's what's actually happening. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I look at other stuff like I have my tonics with using all the stuff like cinnamon, lemon,
yeah. Mhm.
turmeric. I have echinacea, zinc, shilajit. I have sea moss, mate. So it's a plethora of a natural pharmacy, really, to be perfectly honest with you. Um,
Yeah.
you know, milk thistle. I look at licorice root for the gut. All those kind of things that really help naturally. Because I know the gut is another center. You've got your heart chakra, but the gut's the center of how you feel. I mean, that's what gives you energy. And I don't think we really realize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that how food affects us. So when I was 12, so my parents owned a restaurant growing up. So for me, I had soda available to me 24/7 pretty much.
Yep.
And I drank a lot of soda. So when I was 12, I got really serious into my training and my health. And so I did this experiment with myself. So I drank some soda. I went and ran a 5K, and I felt terrible. I felt thirsty, I felt sluggish, and I just didn't feel good. Then the next day, I tried it without drinking soda and ran the same 5K, and I felt like I had mental clarity. I felt that I could run another 5K right after I was done with that, and I just felt good. And so ever since then, I have not drank any soda since I was 12 because the effects of how it made me feel in my performance athletic wise. And so, yeah, the foods that we put in our system definitely affects how we respond, how we see, like have mental clarity. So yeah, it definitely is very powerful. And so, but going back to your original question, where am I at? Where am I going? Yeah, working on my next book, uh, working on my newsletters, and maybe my wife and I, we were talking about maybe doing our own podcast, and I don't know, maybe starting a YouTube channel too, like you're saying, you know. So I don't know. I'm open
Hey, you got your
to,
first two episodes, my friend. There you go. I
right?
mean,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just telling. I'm just saying, man. It's always a good start, you know. But there's some really good chats about what's happening, and I think everyone can benefit from your stories. And this is why I do a chat with Jay to talk to the normal everyday person who has a story, has a message, has a gift to give, and the
yeah,
voice to hear it from. I mean, people go, "Oh yeah, sick of that Aussie guy, mate." But this that DK over in Dallas, man, he's got it. He's got it going. You know what I mean? So, you know, we
yeah,
have our own picks and chooses, and this is the way, you know, the frequency that you run at, and everyone's just learning, aren't they?
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I'm open to continuing to learn and hopefully to help more people out. And I don't know, maybe starting a coaching program or something where I coach people one on one to change their minds. So, but I'm open to it. Those are just some things that it's in the works maybe, and for the future. So yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to do some plug. We're going to plug the book, plug your website. This is where we do the promotional thing, and we are ex-pro wrestlers. So, mate, we just do it, and we have no shame about telling and where we can find our stuff. So, I'm going to ask you, my friend. Here's your plug. Tell us where they can find you, my friend, and what you've got to offer.
Okay, yeah. So people can find me on my website, dkkang.com. If you go to the newsletter tab and sign up for my newsletter, I'm actually giving away the first chapter of Mindset Metamorphosis as a free download. And my newsletters are just my stories and growing up and what I learned from them, and just wanting to tell people, here's a lesson, start implementing this one minor lesson into your life. It's a weekly newsletter. Um, you can find me on social media, but I'm trying to get better. I was hardly ever on it, but I'm getting better now. If you want to contact me, email is the best way. It's dk@dkkang.com. I usually respond usually about 1 to 2 days. I'm pretty quick with that. If you like social media me like a message, I probably won't respond to that. So just kind of be
Okay,
mindful.
that's fair enough, mate. Yeah, a lot of people. It's just where
Yeah.
you're going to get things. Oh, yeah.
And then my books, Mindset Metamorphosis, it's on Amazon. The other book, the Kimchi Connection Cookbook, is also on Amazon, but that's actually by my actual given Korean name because I wanted to make it more authentic to what kimchi is. So it's
Oh, yeah.
KD Kang is the actual author on that, but it's me. It's the same person. It's the same picture of this
Mate,
book.
rock stars always change their names, mate. Believe me.
Oh yeah. So those are some places that you can find me.
Fantastic. Well, DK, mate, it's absolute pleasure. I've learned a lot. I've been writing down some notes about what we're been talking about. I think your story is magnificent. The lessons that you've learned and the life that you've led can really help people and inspire people to make that change. So thank you very, very much for coming on board. I chat with Jay. Um, this is why I do what I do. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was DK in Dallas, Texas, the home of the Cowboys. I'd live in Texas if I was in America. Hint, hint. Beautiful place. But that was a chat with Jay. Thank you so much for getting involved. Like, subscribe, and share to all our social media. It'll be on Journey of a Whitefeather on Instagram, Facebook, Words of the Warrior on TikTok, YouTube, and then any good social media platform. #DK, DK Kang, and he'll be able to, you better listen to his new podcast that's coming out. I'm just hinting it, but it is what it is. But this is why I do what I do. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And I always finish off with my hero, Bret Hart, the Hitman, WWF champion. I always say, be the best there is, the best there was, and he's looking in his face, the best there ever will be.
Dude, so wait. Bret Hart is like your man?
Mate, he's my hero, man. I met
Dude.
him on my 50th birthday.
Oh, what? He was my wrestler growing up. Like I
Oh,
absolutely
wow.
Bret
There
Hart the
you go.
Hitman. Like he's the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Like he's the man. Like
Oh, love it. Look at that. Oh, mate.
yeah, I didn't know you were a Bret Hart fan. Like that's
Oh,
awesome.
mate. Here we go. Hang on. Where are we? That's one of them.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
one of them. But just before we leave, we might as well give a quick one. Yeah, I met Brett when I was on my 50th birthday, 2 days
Wow.
after at
That's
his
awesome.
bar
Wow.
in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, during the Calgary Stampede.
Wow. Yeah, he was my favorite wrestler growing up, for sure. But my hero is Jackie Chan, hands down. So
Awesome.
yeah. But
Absolutely
yeah,
awesome.
I'm surprised that you mentioned Bret Hart. So that made my day. So that was cool.
Oh, fantastic, man. Say the vibrations up. Hitman, I hope you can see this, man. I'll send it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to clip this and send it to him.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
I'm going to say, hopefully he sees it, but I'll send it to the Hitman bar. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much. We'll see you on the next episode of A Chat with Jay. And yeah, if you love wrestlers, go and watch Bret Hart and Jackie Chan as a martial artist. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you very, very soon.